Hi guys, and happy Monday. Today is Monday, September 5th, and in the United States today is Labor Day. So I wanted to come on really quick and continue with my fall-like cards. Now today's card is going to be a technique you've probably seen before. It is the faux ribbon look. So what I'm going to do is, this piece of cardstock is basic white and it's 11 inches long, and I'm going to cut it 2 inches wide. Now when I use this technique, I do a whole strip. I want to get enough for a couple cards, that way I'm not worrying so much about if I like the way it turned out, doing another one. So then what I have here is I have 2 sheets of designer paper. This is from, let me grab it from over here. Sorry, so you can see. It's from Sun Prints. So this is a fabulous designer series paper. It's in the annual catalog, and the colors are Gray Granite, Night of Navy, Pacific Point, Starry Sky. Okay, so what we're going to do here is I'm going to cut 2 sheets at once. And since this is 2 inches wide, I want to make this 2.5 inches wide, because we're going to do a bunch of strips. And I'll show you. So I'm going to go 2.5, and I'm going to go the whole length of this. You know what? Let's do it this way. Let's not use as much paper right now. It doesn't look like that was a straight end. Let me get that straight. There we go. So there's your 2.5 mark. Put that off to the side in case I need to cut up a few more. And now we're just going to cut 1/2 inch strips. So I like going at the 3 mark, because you can cut 3 to 4 pieces at a time. And now I'm just going to go 1/2 inch on this side. I like doing it this way because as long as they're together, all lined up, I can just keep pushing them over. So there's 1/2 inch, push it over, 1/2 inch, push it over. Oh, I did a 1/4. Oh my goodness. All right, well, you know what? I'm just going to keep, did I do both of those that way? No, it's 1/2 inch. Oh my gosh, I don't know what I was thinking, people. All right, 1/2 inch. Push it over. I think it's because I covered up that one. I thought I was going at the 4th. 1/2 inch. And the last one, 1/2 inch. Okay. Whew. I got a little worried there. All right. So now what I'm going to do here, take the time to have it on the right side. So I'm having the tan side. And if I hadn't messed up, they would all be that way, but I flipped it over. I don't know if you saw. Sorry. Sorry that you have to be watching me sort these. All right, but it's going to make it easier in the end. Sometimes, have you ever noticed sometimes you feel like you've actually have 2 together, because I feel like there's parts of the designer paper where it gets a little thicker. Just me. All right, so here you have that. Now you're going to go ahead, and we have this if we need more cut at the last minute. Now you're going to go here. Now if you want to cut this smaller, like I said, you can, and have it, your card size. I like doing a full row at a time because I'm not sure if I'm going to do the 4 inch. I don't know if I'm going to do a 5 1/4. I don't know if I'm going to do the full card length. So this is a little tedious, but all you're going to do is make tiny little tick marks at 1/2 inch. Now don't worry about these tick marks because they are going to be covered up. So I'm just going every 1/2 inch. And I'm sorry if this is completely boring to you to watch as I'm making tick marks, but it really helps. And then I'm going to go to the other side. Okay, while I'm doing that, I'm hoping you're having good weather in your area. Outside of Chicago here, we had just a little splattering of rain in the morning, and then the rest of the day was beautiful. Little overcast. It wasn't hot. It didn't rain the rest of the day. We were able to grill yesterday. I think today's going to be a little bit warmer, but we'll see. Okay, so now you have your tick marks. Here is where the big discussion comes in. You're going to use your Stamp and Seal. You're going to use your white glue. I'm going to use my tear and tape, just because I love tear and tape, and it just seems like it's easier for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay out quite a few of these strips to put the tear and tape down at a time. I find that if you do it a bunch at a time, like, you know, I call it mass producing, that it works. Now, I did try this method with the adhesive sheets. Those things, though, are so terribly sticky that I feel like I ruined more than I had to. And I'm not going the full length of this. You can if you want to. If you feel like it's not sticking down enough for you, you can always go in and put glue dots underneath the edges. But we're going to be cutting some of the edges off. So that's why if you don't go all the way to the edges, it's not that big of a deal. Because we're going to have overlap, and then you can go ahead and you'll be cutting off the ends anyway. All right. Sorry that you're having to watch all this, but it'll make sense in a little bit. All right. And I think this is enough to go down the length of the card. I can't remember. I didn't count last time. Oops, that one's really short. I am going to need a little extra piece there. Because even though we're not going all the way to the ends, you do have to go about 2/3 of the way. That one I made a little too long. All right. All right. So this is going to be, there's my end. So this is going to be, I always make the more subtle version my background. And then I just like burnishing those because then I think it's easier for me to peel them off. Okay, so here we have our tick marks here. So what you're going to do is you're going to take that off. And you know what? Let me find where I have my blue tape. Do I have my blue tape here somewhere? Ah, here it is. I'm just going to put down a piece of blue tape here that I can put those little paper backings on. That way they're not flying all over the place. All right, so here's this. You're going to go from the top corner to that first tick mark. Just like that. And you're going to make sure you go over the edge. And you're going to keep doing that. Now see that? I should have covered up that tick mark, but I didn't. All right, so there you have that tick mark going to that tick mark. That first one, I really was a little off, but you know what? We'll cover it up when we get to the next part. All right, again, we're going from tick mark to that tick mark. We're just going straight down the card. I might have to pull out my take your pick tool here in a second. All right, because I don't have nails, never have. There was one period where I had nails, but for the most part, I usually don't have nails. All right. And now, if we were doing just the regular sheet for a cardstock, which is usually, you'll trim it at the 5.5 mark, we would be done. But like I said, I like using a full sheet. And I really don't like I got that one off. That one's going to be, to me, it's going to bother me that it's a little off, but gotta learn to let go. So from tick mark to tick mark, all on a diagonal. All right, we're almost there, guys. This is the longest part of the video. Go ahead and see why we don't have to worry about having that tear and tape all the way to the edge. And this will also help then with your scissors or your cutter, because you're not going to be going on and having that adhesive gunk up your piece. All right, I must not burnish that one too good. There we go. Now this last piece, I'm going to hold off for just a second because I may have to use it to finish up. All right, so now that that kind of kept it all together, I can throw those away. And now we're going to the other side. So now this side I want, and on that, so we're going to have the striped side. And I hope I do this right. You know, this video was all the craze about 4 months ago, and I had on my list to do, because I do have kind of a running list of techniques and card layouts I want to show you, but then something comes along, or I have a dream, or I'm watching a designer show, and another idea comes up, so then I push it down on my master list. So this one was going to be done a long time ago, and it just kept getting moved down and moved down. So finally I thought, okay, we've had some really fall intensive cards over the last couple days, so we'll go ahead and do something. Even though this is a little more of a technique, it's a little subtle on the whole fall. It's not screaming in your face, leaves, leaves, leaves. Oh, and I went too far on that side, but we'll be okay. All right. Oh, now I did that one really short. I might have to have another little piece. We'll see when we actually tape it down. There's another short piece. All right. But like I said, you can always use glue dots at the end. Let me just go ahead and burnish those. Press them down. It'll make it a little easier getting those pieces off. And instead of me struggling, I'll go ahead and use this end. All right, so now for this, what you want to do is you want to go from the top of this to the bottom of this. So the top of that to the bottom of that, just like so. Again, top to bottom. And you want to make sure you're going over that edge. Top, and see how we're covering up those tick marks now. Top to the bottom. And I know you're saying right now, doesn't look that great. But I think it's because you're not getting that finished cut. So here we go. Oops. Top to the bottom. So we're going from the top of this one to the bottom of this one. Oh, look, I'm not even using my tape. Good thing Finn's not here. Alright, so top of that to the bottom of that. Top where this meets the white cardstock to the bottom of that one where it meets the white cardstock. I'm sorry if you're hearing me breathing. So, like I said, we spent most of the day outside yesterday grilling and playing with the dog and sitting at our umbrella table. We were going to do the fire pit, but by the time we got done grilling and that, it was time to call it a day from being outside. So I'm going to pay for it today. Probably should have done my Flonase before I came on, but then I feel like I'm really sniffling. So like I said, you can use your white glue. It might go a little faster. I personally don't like the mess of the white glue. All right, so here's where we have our extra pieces. So we have this one, which is that, and this one. I don't think we need that one. We're going to use this one though. And we're going to go, if I can get it off, we're going to go from the bottom of that to the corner of that. And that's where you're going to have some adhesive that's going to show up because it's not really on the cardstock. And this last one, let me bring over my silicone mat. So on this one, you're going to have top of this to the corner of that cardstock. All right. So there you go. I am going to go off screen. No, I won't. I'll take out my dollar store scissors. I usually like using my guillotine for this. Or if you have two cutters, and you can have one dedicated that has the adhesive back. Now see, since we didn't use glue, I feel there's less adhesive on the side, but you are going to have some. And all I'm doing is cutting off that side. All right, so see how messy this looks, and you're thinking, wow, that doesn't look like much. See how when we're cutting it off, how it ends up. And again, we're just going to go straight up against that basic white. Your snips will get you in a lot closer, but I don't like getting adhesive on my snips. So that's why I'm just using my dollar scissors. They aren't as fine-tuned, but it saves my snips from getting all gunky. All right, so now look at that. Look how beautiful it is. Let me get all these scraps off to the side. There you go. Put it all on my silicone mat. Piece is going to stick on there. I'll peel them off later. So there's that one you didn't use. And here you go with that. So let's go ahead. Let's see. I think I'm going to get the gray granite. Let me come over here. Pull out my gray granite folder. And I think I'm going to do the top fold. So it means we're going to score at 5.5. All right, and I'll let me bring out the cutter one more time. I'm gonna have this one the full length of the card, so I am gonna cut this at 5.5. And this is why I like doing a full one at a time, is that it then is very, very fluid. the way it goes. All right, so let's grab out Stamp and Seal. You know what? I'm going to put some Pacific Point underneath there just to kind of pop it out. Let me see where my Pacific Point is. All right, so let me get... So I'm going to do this at 5.5, and I probably have a 5.5 inch piece in my scraps. So let's just go ahead and let's do, since that's, didn't I say that was 2 inches? Yeah, so let's do, I'm going to do 2 3/8. I want to have a little bit more of an edge. So I'm not just using my normal 1/4. And it's going to be 5.5 because it's just going to be layers on the side. All right. Here it is. So let's go ahead. So you're just going to go, oh, I have a little, you see that? I have a little tip there. There we go. All right, so lining the top to the bottom. Here's the other one. Seems a little crooked. All right, it might be in the way I trimmed it off. Like I said, when I use my guillotine, I have that straight edge, but just go ahead and go with it. That is very off. All right. And there you go. I'm going to line this up in the bottom. That way if there is a little bit on the top, I can trim it down. But there you go. That is your floating. I didn't line that up in my cutter, so it looks like there's a short end. All right, so there you are, your floating ribbon technique. Very, very cool. You can have a little saying here or layer, you know, if you have, of course, you want a little greeting, you know, you would cut it down and have it across that way. All right, guys, thanks a lot. And I hope you had a great weekend. If you have today off for a holiday, I hope you had a long weekend. And don't forget to stop in on Wednesday for Watch It Wednesday, Finish It Friday. We'll talk to y'all later. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.